they are part and parcel of this country. We're talking before the break with the Vice President, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Paul Babatunde Ruwashe, and the Director, Trade and Investment, I presume, Mr. Dele Alimi, also of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And we're talking about preferring solutions, giving ideas, trying to work in sync and synergy with those at the helm of affairs as it concerns people. And sometimes they may not be of the mind or be too keen on investigating further about the ideas that you proffer. What remains to be done? What step do you take in that kind of situation?
I think we need to have maybe Mother Luck would one day give us people who are ready to govern and who know the problem of this country.
How do you know someone that's ready to govern?
Yeah, well.
What's the difference between what exists now and the ideal situation of which you speak?
Now, for instance, if you look at the setting we have today, we have parties that don't have any ideology. Okay. You need to just have money, or you need to have a big godfather somewhere to put you there. You are not prepared to govern the people. You don't even know, you may not even know the problem of this society. But because probably you are able to make money out of the system, the same system, you think the next thing is to go for power. And just go for power for the sake of power. And that is why it's not unusual that when people get to office, is when they see the magnitude of problem of the society.
Overwhelmed.
They are overwhelmed because they've never gone through it. And then it's only when they now leave that they now see even the problem as businessmen, what they were fighting against, what they could not do anything about, is now impacting negatively on their businesses. That's when they now realize that, oh, it was a bad policy that we have.
Perhaps, Mr. Alimi, at this time, we begin to expect businessmen to rise to head states.
Yeah, well, it's
but will it work?
It will work if the system is put in place to ensure that the right kind of people try to get to power. A lot of people will not even want to touch it to the very long road, because as far as they are concerned, it's a rotten process, it's a corrupt process, and I don't want to. So you have a lot of. There's something I used to say.
But this process of turning from politician or business magnate to become a leader or a governor is the same elsewhere in the world. Politics or governance, or the steps to the path you take to governance to head any state or a country is the same. There's corruption everywhere in terms of politics with politicians. Why is it affecting our nation so much so that
maybe the other places we're talking about will find a way of ensuring even through these processes that the right people, the people who really have the ideas, get it.
You are saying in spite of the enormous difficulty or challenges on the road to governance, if the right person is the one making that journey, we will get good results.
Most of these people that you find in other climes who are businessmen, who are successful businessmen, you would say, they are successful businessmen first and foremost. They know that when you want to achieve a particular objective, you put in money and you look at the cost, and the benefit must outweigh the cost. Okay. They have that. But you have a system where somebody who has never even worked in all his life, probably you know somebody who is a godfather who puts him there. He wants him there. He doesn't even know idea. He has no idea of why he's in government. He doesn't even realize what those problems that we are talking about. He gets there and he continues to make money and make money for the sake of money.
So what we're saying in essence is that governance at the stage where we are now, governance is a money making, it's an investment.
Sort of.
It's an investment, and it's an investment for a particular group of people.
Yes.
It's not Nigeria's investment, because not all Nigerians are benefiting.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. But let's come back home. Okay, let's come back home, but I'm having a very entertaining discourse. I can better coordinate my arguments elsewhere because of this chat I've had. And perhaps I try to learn from every chat I have with people, because everyone has something that we can learn from. And it's my hope that those at the helm, either at state level, at local government level, at the as councillors, even at the federal government, are also listening. It is good to take something. Each one of us can better ourselves by listening to people who are watching us from the outside. I think so. Perhaps I could be wrong.
Somebody in one of the houses said that the majority of the people in the house cannot read, cannot write.
What?
Yes.
No.
He said it. He
We
said
have
about 2 weeks ago.
masters.
He said they cannot write their name. They barely can.
It's not about
barely
degrees. It's not about degrees and masters
He
that
said
you
they
have.
barely can write their names. So, what sort of impact would such people
I
do
mean,
in governance?
how do people, such people discuss?
Mr. Babatunde, I want to vote for you. Okay,
Yeah,
tell
I
me
wish I had
when,
the
tell
money.
me how.
I wish I had the money, but
Let
I don't have
us
that sort of
let
money.
us change that kind of money. Let's change money governance or money politics. Let's galvanize the common man and woman to support somebody who will go there. But I hear that when they even get there, no matter how common man or common woman the person was, they get there, they forget.
Not necessarily.
They forget.
If
So you say you remember?
If you have a pedigree, if you have the
Okay.
pedigree, if you are somebody, I mean,
How many years have you been in business, sir?
I've been in business now. I've been working for how many years now? More than 30 years.
More than 30 years.
Yes.
Mr. Limi, you?
Yeah, I've been in the private sector for close to 20, 23 years.
Would you describe yourself as a successful businessman?
Well, I am not.
Success not in terms
not
of
in
the
terms of
amount
money.
of money you have in the bank.
Yeah, I think to the extent of where I find myself today and the fact that I think I am impacting positively on
People.
I think
Do
I
you have
have
coaches?
success.
Do you have young men and women that you're investing in? It may not be money who you're teaching how to grow their businesses. Do you have something like that?
Oh yes. There are young guns that are very close to me that I sort of mentor. Not formally,
Okay.
but at least informally you try and talk to
Does
young
the
men.
LCCI as a body do something like that?
Yes.
Do you have young?
Young entrepreneurs club.
Club.
Okay.
We have, and they like graduate from there to
And
become
through your
full-fledged
mentoring,
members.
they do well.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
believe
they
so.
do well.
We
The
believe
fact
they
that
will
that,
grow.
There's a
that club
difference.
is growing. The
If
club
they
is
were not
growing.
here, they wouldn't have fared as well. If they were with your industry, they wouldn't have fared as well. Would you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
They may not have. Because,
Okay.
I mean, when they are with the SCI, they are with the likes of the president, the
Okay.
president, and top people
I
who
mean, you're
can
able to
mentor
make
them.
change.
Yes.
Because if I, as a media person, I mean, as a broadcaster, I've learned so much, let alone the person who wants to do business. If he sits with you, he will glean so much. And if he impacts just 1/3 of what he has learned, I tell you that businesses will continue to succeed in Nigeria. But I want to ask you something before we go to the fairs. Okay, the fair your chamber organized. Is it possible for a man or woman to do business the straight and narrow and succeed? In the climb we find ourselves in Nigeria?
Well,
Is it possible?
It is. You have to. You may gradually it get better with you, and when you are there, you know you are there. Because
But
if you
first
cut,
to be worse with you.
but if you cut corners, what you think you are gaining, when you get to the straight line, you lose it. So, I
So we
think
ought not to cut corners.
you ought not to cut corners. You have to do things true and honestly. You have to do things that you believe in doing.
Look at the end result.
Yes.
Look at where you're going.
Yes.
Forget
and
about the difficulty you may face at the beginning.
it has to be difficult in an environment where you have crooked people,
Okay.
and you have to go to something that you have passion for,
Okay.
not because of money. Because
Okay.
it's not only money.
Okay.
Success is not measured by only
It's
monetary
not, but in
time.
Nigeria, that's our measure.
Yeah,
but
that's why
but
we
we
have
are
this
learning
forum.
differently now.
That's why we're having this
We're learning
forum.
differently
Let
now.
me there are many businesses in Nigeria today. There are many people out there in Nigeria today who are doing
Genuine
good,
business.
genuine, clean business, and they are making it. It may be hard at the beginning, but people will know you for what you are, and they always, when they want something done well and done right, they
They
will
will
always
come
come
to
back.
you. They will
Absolutely.
come to you sometime.
Yes,
Okay. We must begin to look now at the annual Lagos International Trade Fair, which your chamber organizes.
Yeah.
What is it all about? Mr.
Well,
Alimi?
Okay, the Lagos International Trade Fair is a 10-day trade event, and we have organized it now for 26 years. The
Yes,
federal government
yes,
started
yes.
it and handed it over to the LCCI in 1986, and then the Lagos Chamber took off, and to God be the glory.
Why did you start to do that?
I think
What do you want to
the
achieve?
government realized that why we are doing it, or why it came up in
government
the
did
first
it.
place.
Okay, why it came up in the first place? Why has it continued till now?
It's supposed to be, a trade fair is supposed to be a meeting point for business people,
Okay.
both local and international, to enable them. It acts as a platform where you showcase new findings or you look for new partnership. And that's why the government started it. I remember that the first I could remember was in 1960. This place where
As
you
far
have,
back as that.
very close to your place here, I think around Independence, very close to where
Okay.
you have the military cantonment.
Okay,
That was
that's
the
Bonny
first-
Cam.
Bonny Cam, that was
Okay.
the first place they had this trade fair. And ever since, it has been an annual thing. You have people coming from all over the world and businessmen who have new things to showcase.
Okay.
To
So
also
would you say the
expose
fair
them.
continues to achieve its aim?
I believe so, because if it doesn't, people will continue to come. Even from overseas, people are coming.
So when they come, in terms of achievement or success, when they come, what happens? What will change when they come this year?
Well, when they come this year, when the venue has changed, we used to hold it at the Lagos Talangana Trade Fair Complex along Lagos Badagry Expressway.
Okay.
For one reason or the other, basically because of the
Distance?
major
distance. Construction
okay. work. There
okay.
are two major construction work, road construction
going
work
on at that
going on at that axis.
Okay.
So we moved to the Tafa Balewa Square in central Lagos, and that is a different venue entirely, and we have tried to make it very conducive for
We've done it there before.
Okay.
Yeah, for both local and international exhibitors.
Okay.
So that is something different. One other different thing is also where even outside the trade fair, we're also organizing for foreign exhibitors, business-to-business meeting, with even companies that are not within the trade fair, who they have shown interest in meeting companies from maybe this sector or this country.
So you act as a link, or
Absolutely.
or the fair is a platform.
Absolutely.
For synergy.
A meeting point for business
For business people.
That is the whole essence of the trade fair.
So what caliber of business people? Small scale?
Small scale.
Small scale can step in.
medium size, large, everybody,
Industrialists.
industrialists.
Do they get to pay for the space?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they pay.
No, there's no free lunch anyway.
Small scale business is coming to pay for space?
Well, they pay small
Somebody-
scale. They
Okay, they pay
small
small
scale.
scale price.
They occupy that small space.
And they also occupy
Fantastic.
small space.
And you say it's taking off when?
2nd November.
Second, just a few days.
Yes,
a
on
few days
Friday
away.
for 10 days.
Preparations are all in. Everything is already set
need
for
to,
them.
You need to drive past
Tafa
Balewa
Balewa
Square. You will see.
You see.
That's
the venue where we're holding our costume festival.
Really?
So only successful things happen there.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's fantastic. I want to ask you something. Just take, for instance, now there's been the floods, which have come and the floods have come and overcome a majority of Nigerians, and people are still feeling the losses till now.
Yeah.
What we hear is that the price of foodstuff has increased by 200%.
Yeah.
That means those who are suffering will suffer even more. Before then, people were only able to afford a meal per day. What is going to happen now? Is there any way chambers of your ilk in the various states can influence this upsurge or this skyrocketing price of foodstuff?
I'm aware that the federal government always have a storage silo where they store grains, which are for things like this when there is an emergency. And I expect the government to open up such things to flood the market to reduce. And Mr. President actually has alluded to that. He mentioned
that to
so
But being a Nigerian, someone who has lived here almost all my life, I know that, like we often say, government can't do it alone.
Yeah, but
is there any role?
If government cannot do it
alone, because we've been getting text messages from different states. They say, go help Kogi, go help Anambarians, go help people in different states. People are, I heard somewhere that people are going to pillage even the flood relief camps.
Yes.
What they have been given, people are coming to steal.
I know a lady that they stole her laptop.
While she was in the relief camp?
In Bayelsa.
If I tell you that is small. Some people, their self-esteem has been stolen. People are being raped. Some people go for 3 days without food. So it tells me that government cannot do it alone. I'm asking, what role can your chamber play? Not just the Lagos one. We have not been hit that badly yet, but other states have been hit very, very badly. You need to see the pictures. You will weep. Is there anything that you can do?
The value system now. We have value system.
Okay.
How did we get to this level as a people?
The flood?
Not only the flood. The flood has come and done its own.
Okay.
But then we are talking of those terrible things that are happening in those camps.
In spite of the devastation they have already suffered.
Even if you are now to give relief to people, you are not even sure it will get to the right people.
But how about visiting the camps personally? Won't that make a change? As in, if you want to synergize with somebody at the helm, how about holding him in hand and going there?
Yeah, well, that's true.
Well, a lot of that is being done. A lot of that is being done. I see a lot of that going on in TV every day. Nigerians are very compassionate people, and I can tell you a lot of please. Let's. I used to tell people, it is not as bad as we think.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's not as bad as we
not
think.
everyone is bad. But some people have had very terrible experiences,
Yes,
and
I agree
they've
with
divided
you.
compassion to 100 parts. They kept only one part.
Don't forget that. Don't forget that also, because of the development in ICT now, because you can phone, because you can tweet.
Okay.
Some of these things that happen that nobody will hear, you hear it and you sort of think that the world is going to come to an end. It's not that these things were not happening, but now, because the world is a global village,
Exactly.
if something happens somewhere, it becomes known to everybody.
I was watching the news sometime. I usually watch the news across board, different channels, to see the angle that they take.
Yes.
And a man of 92 years, I think it was in Benue State, said he had never seen anything like this in his entire life. At least a man of 90 has lived much more than, longer than any of us here. And if he says that don't happen in his lifetime, that means some of them are experiencing devastation at a level they have never seen before.
Thelma, I think, let's look at it from this perspective.
Okay.
We have always had it good. We have been favored.
Nigeria has.
Yes, Nigeria has been favored.
Yeah.
And we don't listen to what is happening in the outside world. We have that problem. And not until it happens to us. And my people have a proverb that you should learn from other people's experience. That's not what we've not been doing. Because that's never happened to us. Because this issue of global warming, these things has been on for we did not prepare.
Should have taken
we
note.
never prepared.
Should have taken note.
Exactly.
Should have taken note. But now what we have on ground. This is what we have on ground. NASIMA, LCCI. At every state, how can you galvanize action? We're talking here. We haven't felt it. In spite of what we didn't listen, Lagosians have not been hit as badly as that. Is there anything that your Chamber of Commerce and Industry in any particular state where this devastation is being felt can do? Are you doing anything? Is it in your area of responsibility? Maybe I should start from there.
Well, giving relief is not something that is outside the area of our responsibility, but I believe that some of our members are already doing something.
Okay.
I mean, the Dangote Group is a member of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. He has done
something all over the country.
And now that you have mentioned it, it's something that is worthwhile looking at and see how we can bring some relief to these people who are. But then basically, I'll tell you, it's a primary
responsibility of the government.
We have what we call ecological funds that had always been there.
Okay.
I don't know what ecological challenges that they've been kept, but in other places, this is fund that will have gone into trillions by now, which will have been available to us.
No, government has promised. Government has promised at the state level and the federal government, and I trust that they will do something. But like you said, sometimes there's a gap between the people who receive the funds and those who need.
I think it's also part of the problem of our processes.
There is also this problem of government in doing things. Like when you set up a relief program for rural people, you go and buy a 4x4 jeep. You go and buy a 4x4 jeep to administer such a program.
Okay.
I mean, 4x4 jeep might make a lot of difference in the life of 200 villagers. The cost.
Okay.
So when you do that, you go to Sheraton to hold a talk show.
But they need the car to go through the rough terrain.
No,
flooded
that's why we are
terrains.
getting it wrong.
A 4x4 is the only vehicle that can do it.
But there are people who are living there who are not
terrains.
using 4x4.
Who are not using 4x4.
They don't need the money you are going to spend on that. That's the problem I have with government approach.
So get our priorities
right.
And then you want to talk about
focus on the things that matter.
You want to talk about the villager, this problem with rural people. You are going to get a hall in Nikonuga to discuss their problem. I think we need to get out of that sort of thing. If you look at people from developed world, they go to those areas, no matter the level. It could be an ex-president. He goes and visit them and use whatever is available. Because whatever fund you have should be directed more to the problem than to make comfort for your facilities.
But nobody has bought a 4x4 Jeep yet. Nobody is having meetings in Sheraton yet.
No, I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that if
that won't happen.
I'm telling you that if it's the usual governmental thing, when they set up that budget, a 4x4 will be there.
That's not going to happen this year. Okay. But let's come back to the annual Lagos International Trade Fair.
Yes.
For example, I was to come there. I don't have a business. What will I expect to see? How would I, as a common man or woman, benefit from your strategy? 26 years and counting.
Yes.
What would be so awesome for me that I'll go back and tell people, I'll be calling my family in different parts of the country to say, you must come and be a part of this. But that'll be after the return from this short break. You're watching Morning Ride on network service of the Nigerian Television Authority.